Okay, I'm guitar star Daniel. Today we're so happy that we invite two incredible fingerstyle guitars, Song from Germany and Okabe from Japan. Thank you. Welcome to Hong Kong.
Thank you for having us.
Yeah, I'm so happy that, and thank you so much to sharing us about the guitar playing and the concert. Now I have many questions to ask you guys. Then, yeah. First of all, and we know you have tour together and performance in many places. Do you have any memorable or interesting things happening in these days?
Well, so many.
Yeah, so many. So for you?
Should I start?
Yeah.
So, I mean, for me, coming to China and to Hong Kong and tomorrow to Taiwan is always so exciting because everything is so different from Europe, where I mostly tour. The food is incredible. We meet so many great people. Every day we're somewhere else in a fantastic new city, and there's so much to explore. Yeah. So I can't really pick one thing. It's almost, I have to think about it.
Yeah.
One of very funny thing was the many people who pass through beside you. It's like same like this.
Why?
I get some looks.
Maybe,
but that's okay. It's totally fun.
It's kind of the alien from the another planet. But for me, it's totally nothing because I'm so Asian. So totally doesn't matter for me. Yeah. And it's very funny too. No one think I'm a Japanese. Maybe I'm look Chinese or something. So every time they ask to me something in Chinese, so I cannot answer. But actually, only I can answer. I can answer English like 我不是中国人.
Oh, your Chinese is so good.
Thank you so much. 我不听得懂，不好意思. So then they believe I'm Chinese. So totally funny.
Yes, and do you know some Cantonese? Say, hello, how are you? Something.
Remember
Yesterday.
Yesterday.
It's so funny. Yeah, and is it your first time being in Hong Kong?
Yes, for both of us.
Yes.
Yeah.
Sure.
What's your image of Hong Kong?
It's so great. It's like I love the day yesterday. It's hard to say maybe after just spending one day here, but you really notice that in this city, like different cultures come together, it does something with how people interact with each other. I feel like such a big like openness, and you feel very very welcome here, and everybody is very easygoing. The food is great, so I need to come back. For sure.
Sure, I should invite you.
Totally agree.
Do you feel many people in Hong Kong, or it's different from the German?
I need to get to know more people, maybe to tell. But I just love the people I met so far, and I need to come back. Yes,
You need to come back. Yeah.
I can say it's very different from Japan, and I really like many of the people enjoy the tattoo, and then some people like tied your their
man bun.
yeah. And that's so cool. And someone has a very big pierce and many of the pierces, and it's cool. Yeah, I like it. I just like to see them. I don't do that, but I really enjoy.
I see your hair is very different. It's very special. Yeah, it's so cool. It's great. Yeah, and let's talk about the guitar. How about you guys to become a professional guitarist? How and when you decided I must be a guitarist?
Okay, when I was 17 years old, I grabbed the electrical guitar. But before that, I started to play music from the violin when I was 3 years old to 18 years old. But actually, when I was high school student, it was not so cool that I play violin. But actually, it was cool. But I didn't think it was cool. So many of the very nice guy plays the electrical guitar and play some rocks and punks. So I really want to do like that, be like that. So I really want to be famous in my class. So that's why I grabbed the electrical guitar instead of the violin. And after that, when I was college student, I started to play acoustic guitar. That's because I bump into the finger style because of my aunt taught me. Have you ever listened this kind of the music in his car? So I was just shocked. It was like a solo band. So I was so impressed. So that's why I started to play acoustic guitar. Actually, I didn't have any friend to play instrument together, so that was so good for me. Then I became a pro was like when I was 27 years old, I think. Contract with the music company that already gone, but yeah. So it was 27 years old. So I didn't remember how to be a professional. I don't know, but it happens.
Oh,
Yeah. So how about you?
How about you?
Actually, like guitar for a long time was just a hobby. Like when I was a kid, I had many hobbies. Guitar was one of them. I played soccer, I played tennis, I played did a lot of things. So I didn't take guitar that serious in the beginning, but I was very lucky to have a fantastic teacher. His name was Emil Josef, and he was actually originally from Indonesia, and he came to Europe in the 60s and played like party music a lot, but he was also at the same time studying classical guitar, and he was a fantastic classical guitarist. And he played mandolin in an Irish folk band. He knew a bit about jazz piano chords, so even if I started with classical lessons, I always knew that there was so much more to discover. And there are a lot of genres that sound great on the guitar. So I was very lucky to have him as a teacher. And there's one thing I'm forever grateful that he did that. So at some point he couldn't teach me anymore because of health reasons, and he had to move away. But before he moved away, he took me to a Tommy Emmanuel concert. Because he knew that if I would see that, I would continue by myself, and I don't need him anymore anyway. So, and exactly that happened, and that was the night when I became curious about maybe it's an option to become a professional and do this as my job, because it was the first time I've seen a concert that was different than just like a classical guitar concert. And suddenly I noticed, wow, guitar can have such a power and like such an energy, and that was so fascinating to me that this thought like was planted in my head. Actually, I lost contact with my former guitar teacher after that, but because he did that, I just continued. Later I studied guitar, and I always think back, like if I wouldn't have attended that concert, probably I would have studied architecture or would have done something completely different. Actually, my first guitar teacher, he passed away just some weeks ago, and I had the chance, and I'm so happy about that, to have a phone call with him just a few days before, after like 12 years of not talking to each other, not having any contact, to say thank you for what he did. And that was really special. I also like played at his funeral a few songs, and so that's the story.
The story.
Yeah.
Actually, I remember the one of the story. Can I share it?
Yeah.
Before I graduated my college, some of my friends asked me, maybe you didn't believe your possibility. You can be a very good musician, he said. But actually, I didn't think I'm gonna be a professional musician, so I was so surprised. But I decided to belong to some company for making the software, like a programming. But anyways, I belonged to that company. But 4 months passed when I smoked. I already already quit. Okay. But actually, at that time I smoked. So I went to the smoking area because I don't like my work at that time. So the supervisor had come to ask me, "You're gonna be a musician? Seriously?" He said. Then I said, "Yes, probably." I said. So he said, "Okay. So when you gonna quit this job, this company?" So I was so surprised. It was 4 months. Only 4 months I belonged to that company. So okay, maybe 1 year later. So he said, why 1 year? I said, I need to make some skills for the programming. After that, I'm gonna break a leg to be a good musician. But he said, only 1 year is not enough. You should quit for now. That's because if 10 years later, your career would be more very good post. But if you break a leg for the musician like 10 years, after that you realize if I'm not cut out for the music, so what are you gonna do after 10 years? So it's a time you quit the job, he said. So I was so embarrassed because it's only 4 months. So when I go back to my desk, it was at that time the monitor is not so good. So that's because we all have the screensaver. Yeah. Then some very famous people's words came up.
Okay.
And then it was the artist, very famous artist from Japan called Taro Okamoto. And his word came up to the screen. Like, if you are the artist, and if you wonder which way should I go, you must choose the very dangerous one. That's why I was shocked, so impressed. So that's why I quit job 4 days later. So I break a leg for the be a very good musician. That was the story. I remember.
That's great. So we sit here because of a screensaver.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Do you remember what year was that?
Sorry?
Which year do you remember? How many years ago?
Yeah.
When I was 21 years old, I think. So it means 19 years old before.
Yeah, and many of your guitar friends want to ask, how do you play so well? How do you practice guitar? Could you share some experience for us? And how to keep the passion? Because I always see you guys give a very high quality performance. So how do you keep the passion?
For mine, it's maybe easier.
Yeah.
Actually, I loved that to play guitar, and then if I became to be able to play that I cannot play in the past, I was so happy that because I really want to be like him or her. So I just compared my skills to the professional musician. Then when I practice my guitar, I put the mirrors in front of me and I compare the
How is I think it's through big mirror.
Yeah, exactly, not like this. So I play the guitar in front of the mirror all of the day. Like, I compare with my dream musician, how to move his hand. It's like,
Yeah.
so compare all the day.
Did you record always or
Record?
Yeah.
At that time I didn't.
You didn't.
But that's because I don't have any idea how to record it. So
I see.
that's why the mirror.
Mirror. Just record it. Yeah.
How about you?
So actually, for me, when I studied guitar at the university, I practiced a lot, and I was spending 5-6 hours a day on the guitar and really worked hard to develop like my voice on the instrument. I like spent a lot of time like learning how to compose, and of course I also practiced some technique. Nowadays it's completely different. I wouldn't say, actually I almost don't practice anymore. It's more that when I have the time to play the guitar, I really play. I don't really like work, I just enjoy it, and I compose at the same time. I always try to be creative when I have the guitar on my lap. And that way it's just so much fun. It's like when you're a freelance musician and you do everything yourself, like the booking, the promo, like all that stuff, it's more an office job than actually playing. So when you have the time to play the guitar.
Yeah.
You will not lose any passion, because that's the moment where you notice, oh, this is why I'm doing all the other work. So that's how I see it right now. But I'm also, of course, very happy I had the time at the university where I could really take the time to work hard on the technical side of things and develop all the different styles I use now in my playing.
And I know you guys, you have many guitars, right? And
Yeah.
can you share us?
Sort of.
Yeah, can you describe which guitar do you have? Yeah, and what was the special of your guitars?
So actually, I'm not so much of a guitar nerd. Like I'm very happy I found an instrument, at least on the nylon string side now. I play guitars by Christina Kobler, which is a nice
I know
mixture.
your first is you studied classical first, and then
Yeah,
you
yeah.
try the nylon guitar first.
Exactly, like my roots from those classical lessons from the teacher I talked about earlier, they were like my first roots. After I saw this Tommy Emmanuel concert I talked about, I got myself a Maton guitar, and I was like a very bad Tommy Emmanuel clone for some years. So I played a lot of steel strings. And later in the studies it sort of came together, and so I still play both. I found this guitar by Christina Kobler, and I like it so much because it sounds quite modern to me, and it's a bit less classical than most nylon string guitars. So I can also amplify it well, and it sounds a bit more mellow, a bit more warm than the usual classical guitar. And that really fits my music. And since I play those guitars for 10 years now, and I'm actually not really so interested in exploring more, because I have an instrument I feel well with, and it's much more about what you do with it than just like looking for other instruments and more instruments. But I also like steel strings. I have a really beautiful filed steel string. Now I still have my old Maton guitar, and I have some other guitars like a baritone and a 12 string, which I don't really use so much. It's more like I just have my 2 or 3 guitars I play on. And that's enough for me. That's totally fine.
I cannot count. But okay. Let me.
Which one you always used to performance?
Okay, let's say for recently, of course, I play the Starsun guitar from China. Starsun guitar. It's just for the performance in China. I use that every time. And then recently, I bought a new guitar from France.
Yeah.
And it's called Rogero guitars.
Coming soon. We have also.
Really?
Yeah, really.
Wow, that's good.
Yeah.
Yeah, actually, I really like that.
Is
Really,
it
that guitar sound.
Madagascar Rosewood back inside?
Yes, Madagascar.
Same.
Oh, you know.
Switch places.
We have this guitar coming.
Yeah, and then after that, recently I play a lot of the guitar from Hayashi guitar from Japan.
Oh, I
Yeah,
see.
actually, for my new album, I use for the rock song, I play Rogero guitar. But for the
Rogero.
ballad, I play Hayashi guitars.
Oh.
Hayashi guitars, it's so good. You
Yeah.
gotta check that. So,
And how about the Rogero guitar? The sound? What's kind of the sound?
so strong,
So strong.
never destroy.
I'm very looking forward.
Yeah, I play. Sometimes I play strongly, as you can see. So,
Yeah.
But the string sound is never destroyed, never spoiled.
That's right.
It's very important for me. Yeah. So and the hitting, the body sound is also very nice. So it's so good.
Have to try that one.
Oh yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. And of course I have another guitar. I played in the past, like Akira acoustic.
The enemy movie.
Actually,
Yes,
it's the name of the Akira, but
Oh.
it's not from the anime. But that anime is
Oh,
epic.
okay.
So
I thought it was
I
the
love
Yeah.
I love the anime too.
I
But
really
actually,
like
it's different Akira.
Okay. Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Okay.
Yeah, I have the 3 of them. Normal one, and baritone. And for the Hayashi guitar, it's
I-
J and modern power and a mini guitar.
好，咁我哋咧嚟緊咧會有 Roger 吉他，咁有興趣嘅朋友咧都可以上嚟試一試。咁 Roger 吉他頭先Okabe さん咧都講咗佢嗰個係用馬達加斯加 Rosewood，咁我哋係有同一 set 嘅，嗱大家記得留意下。Yeah, Okabe san, you say you played strong rhythm and the technique, and how to keep your finger very smooth,
Okay.
very strong power.
Strong power.
Yeah. Do you get?
You need to go to
maybe
gym?
some drink?
Yeah, I hate it. Actually, for me, just keep do the strumming and percussive stuff. Just keep while I watch the anime or dramas. Just keep it like a breath. So only we need is get used to play that. They get used to move. The strings. No, the fingers like this. So if you get used to move like this, maybe no need to get so strong and muscular. So that's why maybe. Maybe.
Just maybe.
Yeah. I didn't go to the gym so
The
very
gym.
hard. Sometimes. We speaking somebody pass. Hey, what's up? Like that.
Yeah.
Just keep that. Keep it going.
Keep going.
Yeah.
About song, I like your song, Sparking Muffin, and how to practice that song.
Yeah.
It's a song very
So
hard.
curious. So curious.
It's a hard one.
Yeah.
Yeah, actually, Sparkle Muffin, like it's one of those originals where I'm really happy that I composed this, because if I wouldn't have composed this piece, I would never practice that. It would be too much work, I think. The good thing is if you write these songs, you already start practicing while you compose. So it's like you already started, and that's really good. So you have only some work to refine it after it's finished. But yeah, that's one of those pieces you shouldn't play when you're not proper warmed up, and which is almost like sport. And it's the same as Okabe says. It's all about keeping the hand relaxed, as relaxed as possible, and that's only possible if you work on it like in a very, very slow tempo and really take your time. And you need a lot of patience, I think, to learn that piece. And it's not easy to. I'm still working on that to really keep the groove while playing all those fast things, but not losing the focus of the groove, because if that gets lost, it's just a big chaos of many notes. So yeah, it's definitely not easy, but you need some patience and practice it always a little more slowly than you want to.
Yeah. And what's the inspiration of that song? Is it related to a spider? I know it's spider.
Yeah, so Sparkle Muffin is a little spider living in Australia. And I saw the spider on YouTube because this male spider has a mating dance, which looks just very, very funny. So you see this small spider. It's also looking very like colorful, and so I'm pretty afraid of spiders. Like you have a big one here. I don't want to get closer. So. But it's very tiny, it's very colorful, and it just raises like two legs in the air and goes back and forth on a little leaf, and it's really cute. And if you see like this funny video of a dancing spider, I thought I need to write a soundtrack for it. And the first idea for that piece was just the groove. Very often I start with a melody, but here the groove was the first idea, and because I just muted the video, and on dead notes I tried to find some rhythm, some groove that was fitting the dance, and so that's the inspiration of that piece. And then later I wrote a melody to it, and then tried to bring the groove and the melody together. Worked a lot until it was playable.
Oh, I see. How about coffee?
Unplayable.
I also love your song,
Thanks so
Paso
much.
and Blue, and
you.
and also inspiration. That's your song.
Okay. It's like the background story is like I really want to describe the blue. It's from ocean, and then I describe the ocean is the place which is our soul is go back after we passed away. Then come back to the earth or somewhere again, and we can if we passed away and then we face the farewell, but maybe we will meet together again in this life or next life. So if I faced some dearest people passed away, it's so sad. But actually, at the same time, we have the slightly hope to meet again. So I want to say, blue, the ocean, that the soul is come back. So that's why I named the blue. Yeah. It's very hard to explain in English. Even Japanese is very hard.
Yeah.
Doing a great job.
Yeah, there you go. And last question, just beside you guys play guitar, what's your hobby? Yeah. I know you take a photo, right? You like to take
I have a many hobby.
Why? Why? I love to take a photo.
Actually, the photo. I feel photo is about the capture the lights, and then we don't have to get the opportunity to this light now, not again. Yeah, it's only the time I have this light from Zunkemena. It's shiny. Yeah. But actually, if I capture this moment, this moment has never come again. So that's why I feel it's so beautiful, and I want to memorize this moment. So actually, 4 or 5 years ago, I broke up with my ex-music company, but and they say you cannot play guitar anymore. So I didn't play guitar because of my broke heart.
Yeah.
It's so hard. So that's why I need to find another things to do. Like a very fascinating thing for me. Yeah, and that was take a photo. Yeah.
That's great.
Yeah.
He's a fantastic photographer.
Yeah,
it's really
I know.
amazing. Like
Very amazing.
we went to the Great Wall on the second day of the China tour. We went to the Great Wall, and I think he might have accidentally shot my next album cover. It's really
That was
so great. It's
Because of
fantastic.
the model is
Yeah, I don't think so.
Outstanding.
Luckily, you don't see my face on that photo. So. Yeah, but actually, when music becomes your profession, you need a new hobby. It's really important because it's not your hobby anymore. It's like it's quite a hard job with all the office stuff going around, and But so I have one really nerdy hobby I can try to explain, which is really difficult maybe. But also, of course, like first of all, like you spend a lot of time by yourself inside, practicing, recording, doing whatever. So what's really important for me and what feels really important for me is going outside and going for walks and having fresh air. I'm living not that far from the river, and like that, I would consider that as one of my hobbies because I just need that, like especially in very busy times. But there's one hobby I think I have to mention it here because it's sort of I started doing that when I was a small kid. Really, I got a big fascination about old windmills. You know what windmills are? Like these.
Like the
Where you,
in the
exactly.
Yeah.
So I live close to the Dutch border. In Holland, there are many windmills, and also in that part of Germany are still like very old ones, historic ones. As a kid, I would always go crazy when we passed one. I was like, wow, this is so cool. And later, the interest, the fascination became a bit more like deep, you could say. So I did a lot of research actually about that, like about places where there have been windmills before, and I was looking if there are like old photos somewhere, and I went to some people, interviewing them, and to some archives, looking for old documents. And so I have like this strange collection in my apartment. When you come into the living room, there are like 70-something folders with like
That was huge.
with like 15,000 old photographs of windmills of northern Germany. So it's really, really nerdy, and I don't have time for it anymore, unfortunately. But still, the fascination is still there. It origined like in early childhood, but yeah, that's something
That's
I really
really
like. Yeah.
You love it.
And hobby made us to compose a very good music, right?
Compose.
Compose a very
Music.
good music, because
Actually,
we need to
yes.
experience something good.
Yes.
Yeah, that's go for the our music, of course.
Yeah.
That's the thing. You don't. You need something else in life, like this, for example. Going to Hong Kong, meeting you guys, and
Thank you
this
so
is
much.
like
Yeah.
this is so much more important for me now as a composer than practicing.
Exactly.
Yeah,
exactly.
exactly.
That's like this is what makes good music happen, and these kind of hobbies also. You don't find the music in practice rooms.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
it's not there.
I need to get a very good friend.
Yeah.
Also that.
Also that. We're so happy to invite you guys to here and perform.
Thank you
and
very much.
give us many good music. Welcome to Hong Kong, and hope to see you again in Hong Kong. Thank you so much.
See you very soon.
Thank you.
Yeah, see you
Thank
very
you.
soon.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Leave you out
Thank
here.
you.
Yeah, thank you.